All right, welcome back. This should be a cautionary tale for the mayors of all major metropolitan cities in this country. Keisha Lance Bottoms, the once promising mayor of Atlanta, recently announced that she will not seek a second term. It's an election year surprise that marks a sharp turn for her political career. Just months ago, she was among those President Biden considered to be his running mate. She said this in her statement, it's, quote, with deep emotions that I hold my head high and choose not to seek another term as mayor. That was her statement there. She also said she'd prayed about this decision with her husband. Now, Bottoms' tenure has seen a mix of highs and lows. She was among the president's earliest endorsers. As a result, she watched her profile rise. She also got national attention during the coronavirus pandemic. She caught the disease herself. And the national spotlight also came back to Atlanta shortly after George Floyd's death. That's when Atlanta police officer Garrett Rolfe shot and killed Rayshard Brooks. Rolfe was fired the day after he shot Brooks. The critical event playing out in a Wendy's parking lot, all of it captured on Rolfe's body cam. Bottoms' political actions surrounding the case, though, would also come back to haunt her, because just recently this week, the Atlanta Civil Service Board reversed Rolfe's firing. They said the city did not follow its own procedures, and they failed, get this, to grant Rolfe due process. Now, Bottoms did not specifically mention George Floyd nor Rayshard Brooks in her announcement letter, really her announcement that she's not running, but she did say this. She did talk about the, quote, social justice movements that took over the streets and that we persisted, end quote. Joining us now to talk more about this is Newsmax contributor and former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke. Also back with us again, Brandon Tatum, former police officer and co-founder of Blexit and founder and CEO of OfficerTatum.com. Gentlemen, great to have you back.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
We've talked about Jacob Frey in Minneapolis, and then we have Keisha Lance Bottoms doing the same thing, trying to stem back these riots by taking an overtly political and kind of racial response to the shooting. But I remember talking about this specifically with you at the time, Sheriff Clarke, that ultimately we would get here. Rolfe would probably be reinstated based on that body cam footage we saw, and Keisha Lance Bottoms would pay a political price.
Yeah, that's just one step. Look, this is kind of stunning. A big city mayor like this leaving after one term, not running for re-election, is highly unusual. But look, as a mayor of a large city, you're judged on three things: how your K-12 public schools are performing, can you keep the crime rate down, and can you keep property taxes down? And if you look at two of those categories with crime, violent crime is up exponentially in the city of Atlanta. Homicides are up, non-fatal shootings, other crime stats across the board are increasing under her tenure. And if you look at the Atlanta public schools, they spend $900 million a year to educate children in the K-12 system. 34% of these students are proficient in reading, 31% in math. That means over 2/3 of Atlanta students are not proficient in reading and math. She could put all the spin on this she wants about how she would easily get elected if she ran again. Something's up here. I guess we'll have to wait and see what it is.
Yeah, Brandon, what do you think? You think there's anything more to this than the rising crime in Atlanta? We just had the Civil Service Review Board kind of rebuke her and her position when it came to Garrett Rolfe here. What do you think might be the real impetus for this decision?
Yeah, I mean, there could be, dire implications for her, judgment and the things that she said about the police officer that was reinstated. I mean, obviously, she's a tremendous failure in that city, and she knows for a fact that if she ran again for re-election, she would not win. And I think that she's trying to, be smart and get ahead of the game and get out of there before it gets too hot for her. But I think that she was a complete failure. I was very disappointed at the things she said about the officer in the Rayshard Brooks case, because that officer did everything that he was trained to do. Rayshard Brooks was a criminal. He was made poor decisions, and he attempted to use deadly force against a police officer with the taser, aiming it at his head. So I think that is a mark on her tenure, and I think that was a good thing that she walked away without getting too much damage done to her.
Yeah, there was also a guy named Paul Howard, who was the district attorney, who really went after Rolfe. He was involved in a re-election campaign and really ginned this up for political purposes, and he lost. He suffered a political price as well. Also, we're hearing, Sheriff, that one of Atlanta's richest neighborhoods, Buckhead, is pushing to secede from the city. They want their own police force. They saw murders soar 80% in that community. This is, right part of Atlanta here, an important tax base, too, for the city of Atlanta. If cities start, leaving the overall city of Atlanta, they start shrinking, this is going to be a downturn like you saw in Detroit or some other urban areas in the past.
People have had it. Good law-abiding people all across the economic spectrum have had it with crime. They've had it with this defund the police movement. They've had it with the lack of political support, including that state prosecutor that you mentioned who tried to tie his reelection to charging that officer, and he got his rear end handed to him. But people have had it. They're done with this crap. They're done with this Black Lives Matter stuff. They're done with this anti-cop movement. And now they're starting to show it.
Yeah. I mean, this is nothing new, too. I mean, you can listen to the music that comes from Atlanta, and they talk about the corruption in the Atlanta Police Department, the corruption in Atlanta's mayor's office going back decades. You know, Brandon, what is it going to take to finally change this stuff? I mean, Atlanta had been on the right trajectory, but you can see how quickly things can change when you have one mayor or a couple elected officials, you know, get overtly political and make the wrong decision at the wrong time.
Well, I think you spoke to it directly. You know, when you start getting political and the heat is on and people start removing themselves, I think that's when you have access to other people to run for those positions and make right decisions for the city. You know, the police department, in my personal opinion, is the foundation of a lot of these communities. If you can't keep the community safe, then everything else goes to crap. You know, the property value, you know, people are moving out, seceding from the city and wanting their own police department. You know, you have to have law and order in these major cities. And the interesting thing in Buckhead is, from my perspective, is that there's a lot of African-American people that live in Buckhead that are very successful. And the funny thing is that they want more policing. So this narrative that Black people are getting overrun by police and gunned down on a day-to-day basis, this shows that reasonable Black people do want law enforcement in their communities, and they want the communities to be safe.
Yeah, no, I mean, I grew up in Atlanta, and, you know, I would go to certain parts of the city that look just like where I grew up. Houses look almost the same, probably built by the same builders. You know, and Atlanta grew so fast, but most of the community was Black. And, you know, that's, I think, again, where we get, you know, too focused on race sometimes and what really matters to people, to your point, Sheriff Clarke. When you're running a city, the people have basic expectations. They expect the police and the firefighters to show up on time. And you got to keep people safe, and she's not doing that. Do you think this is it for her? Does she have a political future?
Well, who knows? But, you know, this transcends all demographics. People want to be safe. It's the #1 priority of any city in America, is to secure the personal safety of your citizens. And when you don't do that, bad things happen. But here's the big question now is, will the voters of Atlanta do a better job in selecting the next mayor than they did the last 2 mayors? Yeah,
it goes back, you know, it's kind of a thing with Atlanta and a lot of cities, unfortunately, when you have one party in control, one party rule. Guys, real quickly, wanted to ask you about a new development in the George Floyd case. A federal grand jury has indicted the 4 former Minneapolis police officers, other than Derek Chauvin, including Derek Chauvin, I should say. We knew this was coming, though, didn't we, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, politically, this is what they're going to do. And my personal opinion, and based on the things that I know in policing, they're making a horrible decision by trying to indict these other officers. I mean, they were not directly involved with the decisions that Chauvin made. I think that when you look at the court and you look at the evidence that came out, I don't believe that they proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Chauvin was 100% responsible for the death of George Floyd, and you know, they didn't give him a fair trial. Right. So this is not looking good for their, prosecution. And I believe these other officers are going to get off as well. Right.
With the appeal coming, we already saw the defense argue for that. This does look to muddy the waters, doesn't it, Sheriff?
Oh, without a doubt. Look, a grand jury indictment, these are just accusations. The defendants in a grand jury do not get to defend themselves, do not get to bring witnesses in, do not get to present evidence. So this is the first step. And it's just like a charging conference. So we'll have to see as time goes on. But this is going to be real hard to reach this standard against these officers.
As Professor Dershowitz always reminds us, you can indict a ham sandwich. And maybe that's the case here. Guys, great to see you both. Sheriff Clarke, Brandon Tatum, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, coming up.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.